it's Nate with another piano tutorial. Today I'm doing the classic Blowin In The Wind by Bob Dylan. I think this translates really well to a solo piano version, and it's really simple. It's just 3 chords. You can keep it really easy, but I'm also gonna give you some options for the left hand to do some of the low active notes of Bob's guitar picking part. Let's jump in. Okay, so first off, I recommend you get the chords and lyrics chart. There's a link down in the description that'll help you follow along and see where the chords line up with the lyrics. We'll jump right in with the verse. Here is the chord progression for that. So kind of a lot going on, but it's only 3 chords. So the first one is going to be this D major chord. Now this is an inversion on a D. I've got my first finger on F sharp, second finger on A, and then 5th finger on D, using my left hand just to do a single D down here. And this is middle C right here, just so you know the octave. Next up, we've got a G major chord. I'm gonna keep my left hand in the same place and just put down my second finger on that G. And my 5th finger is already where it needs to be here. My 3rd finger as well. It's gonna come up like that. Root position, G, B, D, G major chord. So that can be a pretty smooth transition there. And then the only other chord we need is this A over E. So the slash E part means that the bass note we play is actually gonna be an E instead of the A. You can do that with your 4th finger here. And I'm gonna do the A like this. E, A, and C sharp. And I like doing 1, 2, and 4 for that. So play around a little bit with these 3 chords. We're gonna be moving between them a lot in this song. Now in terms of the pacing here, we're in 4/4 time, so each of these measures gets 4 counts. A lot of them have 2 chords per measure, so each of those chords would get 2 counts. So just kind of holding the chords going through this first line, it would be D, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, D again, 2, 3, 4, D, 2, 3, 4. How many roads must a man walk down before you call him a man? 2, 3, 4. Now the easiest way to play this song while adding a little energy would be to just play on every count in the right hand, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But I'm gonna do a rhythm here that really mimics the guitar picking that Bob Dylan does on this song. We need to think in 8th notes, so instead of just counting 1, 2, 3, 4, we're gonna divide that beat in half. Think 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and we're gonna be playing the right hand on a lot of those ands in between the count. Let's just loop it on a D. I'm still gonna play on beat 1 with the left hand, and then I'm gonna play on all the ands with the right hand. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so hitting the left hand on 1 and 3. You can kind of think left, right, right, left, right, right. And then once you get the hang of that, you can start doing it with the chord changes. Cool, I'm gonna sing through this whole verse now. We only talked about the first line, but it's basically the same thing, all 3 lines. The 3rd line is the exact same as the first line. And then the middle line, the only difference is we go to that A over E for the final measure of that. So here's what we got. How many roads must a man walk down before you call him a man? How many seas must a white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? So there's that A over E here, last line. How many times must the cannonballs fly before they're forever banned? Cool, so I'm sure you're hearing the chorus now. Let's take a look at the chorus, and then once we do the chorus and the harmonica solo, which is basically the chorus, then I'm gonna go back and add a little bit more movement to the left-hand bass line. Okay, so here are the chords for the chorus. No new chords. We've got G, 2, A over E, 4, D, back up to G, then it stays on G, A over E, and then just 2 counts of the D chord at the end. It's a measure of 2/4 time. 1, 2, and then we go straight into the harmonica part. So let me sing through this chorus here. The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. 2 and then here are the chords for the harmonica solo. It's the exact same thing, but the D at the end actually gets a full measure. So from the end of the chorus is blowing in the wind. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, and how many? And that would be the next verse starting. All right, so now I'm going to go back through and add a little bit more movement and melody to the left hand part. I'm going to build it up in a couple of layers, and if any of this is too tricky to play, especially while you sing it, you can totally skip it. Here's those verse chords again. Now, the biggest thing for this verse is whenever you have a G chord, for the second of the 2 counts of G, you're going to play an F sharp in the left hand instead. So that would be like... that would be a typical G chord here. You do that all throughout. So D2, G4. You can think of it, especially when it's going from the G to the A over E, it's just a nice little walk down note on the way to the E. And that, of course, is happening on beat 4 of all these measures. How many roads must a man walk down before you call him a man? And then again, how many seas must a white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? And again there, of course. So that's the main thing. There's a couple other details that you can do. One is on this A over E here, you can go back and forth just on every count. 1, 2, 3, 4, between the E and a C sharp. Yes, and how many? So that sounds really nice. Another thing that's a little trickier is in the second measure of each line, after you are on the A over E, before going to the D, you can do this quick little C sharp. It would hit on the and after 2 at the same moment you're hitting that right hand A before going back to the D. So it would sound like, how many roads must a man walk down? Just a little ba-dum, getting back to the D. So you can throw that in. And then the final thing, and I think he only does this once, maybe in the first verse on before you call him a man. It's just this little hammer on the guitar, but it's really cool. It's just a B, D. Of course, this is the last D in that line. 1 and 2 and 3 E and 4 and. So it's a 16th note. 3 E, just ba-da before you hit the right hand chord. One more time. Before you call him a man. How? So you just kind of move the left hand down to make that happen, and then you can get it back into position. Okay, cool. Let's look at the chorus. So here the main thing is there's this nice little melody that happens with the low notes in the measures that are G and then A over E, where you play a different note on every count of the measure. It's going to be G, F sharp, E, C sharp. The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. And then same thing here. Answer is blowing in the wind. Okay. We also can do a little bit extra in that measure of D to the G. When you get to the G, we're going to go back and forth with a D and then back up to G. So from the start of the chorus, the answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. 2, and then it would be right into the harmonica solo. One other thing you can do is Blowin In The Wind. There's this little walk up he does sometimes, I think on a B, C sharp, D. So that would be tacked on to what we're already doing with the answer is blowing in the wind. So instead of just going to the C sharp, nice and simple on the 4th beat there, it would be 4 and B, C sharp, D. One more time there with all the details. The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. And then straight into the harmonica solo. Same exact way, back and forth here. For my version, I might throw that in once or twice, but mostly I'll probably just keep it simple with the C sharp quarter note. All right, thank you for watching. I am now going to do a full play and sing through so you can see how everything we've been talking about fits together in the full thing. I'll be messing around with that left hand bass line stuff, but again, you can leave that out if it makes it so you can enjoy playing and singing it a little bit quicker. If you enjoy this video, give it a like. Also, please subscribe to the channel if you have not already and click the bell so you know when I put out more videos like this one. All right, here's my version of Blowin In The Wind. How many roads must a man walk down before you call him a man? How many seas must a white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? Yes, and how many times must the cannonballs fly before they're forever banned? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. Yes, and how many years can a mountain exist before it is washed to the sea? Yes, and how many years can some people exist before they're allowed to be free? Yes, and how many times can a man turn his head and pretend that he just doesn't see? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. Yes, and how many times must a man look up before he can see the sky? Yes, and how many ears must one man have before he can hear people cry? Yes, and how many deaths will it take till he knows that too many people have died? The answer, my friend,